Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I have brought you a new topic called Graylog setup on Docker containers by using Terraform. In this video, I am going to set up Graylog server, which would be the container, then Elasticsearch container, and MongoDB container. Talking about the architecture, as we are doing it for the practice purpose or demo purpose for me, I'm just using one server, and on that one server I'm trying to do a minimal setup. That's a Graylog on it, MongoDB and Elasticsearch on the same server. As we are using Docker, so there would be Graylog Docker container, MongoDB container, and one would be the Elasticsearch container. However, in the production environment, the picture is different. In production environment, we use multiple Elasticsearch servers. We formed it as a cluster. Similarly, we run MongoDB in replica set and two or more Graylog servers, which are behind the load balancer. Whenever any client accesses the Graylog, it goes through the load balancer. So, what is Graylog? Graylog is a tool that is used to manage logs from different OSs, whether it is Linux or Windows or Mac. We send the logs through applications, or we used to manage the logs from the system, the server itself. And by using Graylog, we can manage the history of the logs. We can find logs very easily, which would be older logs or logs older than couple of months or quarters or years. There are different methods for sending the logs, but in this demo, I am going to set up the annex logs to send the logs from my system to Graylog. So, what is the necessity for the Graylog? In the production environment, many times we need to troubleshoot many things, whether it is related to services or application or servers. That time we need to go to that server and find the logs on files and search in files, which is quite difficult and hectic job. So the Graylog make it easy, and from the GUI we can search it very easily, and we can find logs and troubleshoot the issues. So without wasting time, let's get started and check out our code. So this is my Visual Studio code. Here in this directory, I have created another directory and I have made it as a module. So the module name is Graylog, and just a source is the present directory named Graylog. In this directory, I have created different files for different servers. We can define all together, but for demo purpose I have created different files. So starting from the Mongo, we required MongoDB to store settings of Greylogs. User settings could be your inputs, your indices, rotation policies, anything. Whatever we are doing, the settings in Graylog all are stored in MongoDB. Here we are going to create the resource, that's Docker image. We are pulling the image from Docker Hub. The image name is Mongo and the version is 4.2. We are using keep underscore local. This parameter is true so that whenever we first time download our image and then we run the Terraform destroy, it will not delete the image. It will keep locally. And the second resource, it is for creating the containers. As you might have seen my previous video, I have explained it how do we create the containers. So here the count is 1. We can increase it if required, but it is okay to put 1 for this demo purpose. I'm giving the name as Mongo. Restart setting this parameter always so that whenever the containers stop automatically or due to some reason it will start again. And the image is our docker underscore image and the image name and the latest. However, I have defined here the image version would be the 4.2. If you define here the latest one, then only it will take the image version 4.2 only. Moving towards the Elasticsearch. So in Elasticsearch, in this file, I am creating one container for Elasticsearch for the image, which is I'm getting it from Elasticsearch. We are getting the Elasticsearch image from this path docker.elastic.co, and then the Elasticsearch and Elasticsearch hyphen OSS, and the version is 6.8.5. This is the image version and this is also the Elasticsearch version. We are also keeping the image locally so that whenever the Terraform destroy run, it will not remove the image, and whenever I am running it again, it will not download again. It will take it from locally. So creating container, naming it as a Elasticsearch, count is keeping 1, and we need to provide some environment variables. So to provide the environment variables to Docker, in the Docker we do it with hyphen e, and the parameter which is required to pass, we passed it. So in Terraform we used e and v, and then in the brackets we defined our parameters or the environment variables. So here es underscore java underscore o, this need to be set up here. For the Elasticsearch discovery would be the single node, as we are not using the cluster, and http host, the publishing IP address would be the 000, so that whatever the IP it will get from the Docker, it will publish it. Here also the restart, keeping it as always. Whenever the Elasticsearch container failed, stopped due to any reason, unhealthy or faulty, that time it will restart again. And image it is taking as defined here above. Now check the Graylog file. So in this file, I am getting the image from Graylog. Its image is Graylog 4.2. This is the Graylog version as well, and the tag is also the 4.2. Here also I am keeping the image locally, and this part I will explain later on. Resource containers, I am creating a container. I am giving it a name Graylog, count is 1, and for the Graylog we need MongoDB and Elasticsearch, so I am linking Mongo and Elasticsearch. These are the name which I have given here. The name is Mongo and the name is Elasticsearch. So the containers will be created with this name. So I'm linking this name uh, here. And image, as we defined image here, so it will take Graylog image. And for the Graylog, we also need to provide environments variables. So very minimal environment variables I'm showing here. The first one is username. We need to create a username. By default is admin. So we are going to change it to Graylog as a username. The password for this username. So now come to this part. To generate a password for the user in Graylog, we need to provide in the encoded hash into encoded format. To generate the password in hash2 format, hash2 encoding, you can use this command, that's echo hyphen n. Then the password, I'm setting the password it as admin 123 at the rate 123, so that it is accomplishing the requirement of minimum password, that's minimum 8 character, special character, number, numeric, and capital alphabets, etc. And you can run this command on any Linux machine, and it will give you one password. So this is the hash encoded password, and I'm putting this password here. Graylog password underscore secret. This password is required for MongoDB, so I'm keeping it same. You can change it. So whenever you are logging to Mongo on the Mongo cluster or Mongo's container, you will require this password to get into the MongoDB database. and we are exporting the URL for the Graylog as our local host 127.0.0.1 and the port is 9000. So this port we need to export it in our Docker definition as well. So this is a TCP port, and for the TCP it's by default TCP ports are exported. So we are exporting two TCP ports. One is 9000, second is 5555. We are also exporting the UDP port. This is for inputs. We can define TCP inputs and we can define UDP inputs. So for demo purpose, I am exporting this UDP port here and TCP port here. So we will create inputs in Graylog on the port 5555 and on the port 12202. For the UDP in Graylog, most of the documentation shows 12201, but we can change it anytime. So let's move to our terminal, and I am here in my Terraform directory, and this is my WSL machine. As you can see, my directory is here in /mnt d drive, then git stash, and my directory for this Terraform setup, and there I created one directory for Docker with Terraform. Let's zoom it a bit, and if I ls, we have all our files here which I had shown in you Visual Studio Code. Let's run the Terraform plan first. Let's check what it is going to do. As it is locally, it will run very quickly. You can see it is going to add 6 and 0 to change, 0 to destroy. Let's have a deeper look what it is going to create. From here, it is going to create our container. That's the one. And in our container, this is for Elasticsearch. In Elasticsearch, the environment it is showing here, it is doing correctly. Other things we have not touched them, so they are taking by default. The second container is Graylog and the environment variables which we had provided, and the third container would be the MongoDB. And for these three containers, it is going to download the image for all three, the Graylog, Elasticsearch, and the Mongo. That's why it is showing 6. It is also showing one warning that the link is old now. Yeah, it is old. In the Docker, we no more use these links. We use the network instead. So it's look fine. Let's now run the Terraform apply auto approve. Now it is going to create our containers from the image. It will download it and create it. Okay, so now it is showing one error that unable to create containers. This as the containers are linked to each other, Elasticsearch container might not be ready yet. That's why it is showing it is not able to create the Graylog. So don't worry, let's run it again. So as we can see, we have already running Elasticsearch and MongoDB containers. So now let's run the Terraform plan again. So this time it must create one container, that it is creating one. And now, yeah, so Docker PS, as you can see, here is showing healthy and it is in the starting phase. We have to wait for some time to get it loaded. Let's clear the screen. We can check the logs, Docker logs, and the container is Graylog. I will do less and shift G. The last line, it is still showing open connection. It is doing its job. It is running settings, something, and it is still showing starting. It will have 48 seconds. Okay, about 10 minutes now. It is still starting. We can check. Yeah, it is showing some warnings, some errors, but we don't have to bother it. because we have not fully configured our Graylog. We have set up on the minimal things. So that's okay for this demo purpose. But in the production, we have to do many things. If anybody required to get what all things required to set up the Graylog, you can reach to me anytime. Let's check the status. Okay, it is still showing starting. And as we had exported port 5555 9000 and 12202, it is showing this is as slash UDP, others are TCP. Okie dokie, now it is started. Check logs. Shift G, it is showing successfully pointed index. Now running 127.0.0.1.1 colon 9000. This is our Docker container pointing to this Graylog container. We have created the user Graylog and the password as admin123 at the rate 123. Yep. Now it is running. This is a Graylog interface. Here you can search for the logs. We don't have any logs, so it will not show any logs. We can search from this time lapse, or we can configure our range, our custom one from here, from to until now, and then search. We can set up alerts. We can stream our logs, and this is enterprise tab, but we don't have any enterprise product. This is an open source one, but the enterprise version gives you some more features, and we don't require right now, so it is costly, by the way. Okay, so in systems, you can see one warning. It is showing that we are running without inputs. No inputs, no logs. So let's create a one. Go to inputs. Let's search for the inputs. We will create a raw TCP plain text. Okay, launch one. Click on global. Give it a name. Raw plain text input. I'm giving binding that address is 000. It will take logs from anywhere. Who is sending logs to this Graylog? Keep it all as by default and save this. We are running logs, but still, if you see show the received log, we are not receiving any logs. No logs anymore. No logs yet. For sending the logs, we require to set up few things. If you go to inputs, if you have look here, there are many options to send the logs to this Graylog. You can set Jelf. Jelf is a library very much used by most of the environments. We use Jelf in most of the environment. Wherever it is the PHP one projects, they usually use the Jelf. You can send the logs from all these options we have, but now we have set up the input as TCP. Let's send some logs. So in the start, I have already downloaded this NX logs. So I do have NX logs installed. Use this. So in this NX logs, we need to go to conf directory, and there is a file called nxlogs.conf. Just open it. So in this file, you need to define your host where you have to send the logs. So keeping this all as default, let me grab your attention to this input. From here, in this input, the host it is 127.0.0.1. The port is 5555. These two parameters need to be set up. Rest of the things you can ignore them. Also, you can set it for UDP as it is a TCP one. This is a UDP one, and rest of the file is as it is. And after that, you need to restart this nxlog service from the services. From search, you can do services.msc. So in services, you can search for nxlogs. I found it. It is running. So just to restart. While doing restart, if you get any error, the service is not able to start, you can always check the logs from the nx logs in this directory. In this nx logs, you can check the logs here in nx logs. Okay, here search for it. Now you can see we have these logs coming. Now the next logs has started sending logs to it. These all are my system logs, which are just 5 minutes before logs. We can see here, and this is showing the count, and we can see the details of logs here. These are from my Windows logs. These are my Windows logs. For this demo purpose, I have set up this as a demo. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you get something new, something interesting. See ya in the next video that would be coming soon. Till then, bye bye.